We're 15 seconds in to being live.
Welcome to Nearing Nerdvana. This is Long Story Short, bringing you episode number 28. So,
all right, what's up? What's up? We all just woke up from naps, so we're going to try to liven this up, talk about some comic books.
Mm-hmm. We got to get those naps in before, before
we die.
Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, Cover Price. That's COVRPRICE. Make sure you're using the code Nerdvana, Nerdvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. This is for new users. And make sure you're signed up for the text line, the brand new app for Bird City Comics, and you're using the code Nirvana for a 15% discount. So pretty stoked to be here. How's everyone's week going so far?
Pretty good.
Cool.
It's going all right, man. These holiday weeks throw me off a little bit, right? So it's so far so good.
Nice. All right, let's see. And then we have a bunch of people.
It's going good for me too.
Cool.
Man, fuck your week. I'm sorry. I mess up. That mess up. I swore like it was like after 2 minutes though.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's not the first 8 seconds, I think we're good or something like that.
But still, hey, screw your week.
Thank you, man.
We have GTK Comics joining us. James Waite, Paul Holloway, how's it going? JC McGraw. We got Bird the Nerd joining us.
Bird.
James Kreider.
What's up, James?
Chad
what's up, buddy?
And then I've been told that International Comics is going to be joining us late. But we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. If anybody hasn't joined us, not a spec show. It's not a hot list. It's none of that. Just some comic books we want to talk about that maybe nobody else is talking about. So don't feel like you have to go out, run out and buy these. You're not going to make yourself rich doing that. So yeah, just sit back and enjoy the show, as they say. What do we got? Carter, this is all you, man. This was on your most recent pickups, so I put it on the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wonder Woman number 36. This is actually a 1 in 100.
Yeah, so I left the 0. That is my bad.
Okay. So Wonder Woman 36, David Finch cover, and if you notice, that's Swamp Thing in the background.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Because when the first few times I saw this cover, I'm like, oh, there's like something murky and green behind Wonder Woman, but oh yeah, it's Swamp Thing.
But looking like kind of like Man Thing in that photo though.
I know, right?
Yeah,
it's looking very tentacly. But what did I want to say about this? It's just okay. So I saw this. I was at a store and I just saw it up on the rack, and I'm like, oh, okay. Or rather, on the wall. And I'm like, oh, for $40. I'm like, okay, go ahead and pick this thing up. I like this book just because it's a nice. It precedes number 38, the other Finch Wonder Woman cover, the one that's insanely expensive. I think this is a nice runner-up to that book.
Yeah,
So
and it's crazy how little this book goes for relative to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like that should be the case, given that they're both 1/100s and probably had similar orders and all of that. So
Yeah, Wonder Woman is looking just as juicy in this image as she does in number 38. So what's the discrepancy here?
well, perhaps it's the perspective of 38 that people prefer. I don't know. Alrighty. So keeping with Wonder Woman, another really tough Wonder Woman book is this. A book
Oh, damn it. Hey, man, put that image away. I'm still trying to find that book.
this one's a tough one, man. I've been looking for it forever. I've kind of given up the ghost on that one.
Which one?
Amikami Girls #1. This is a Dustin Nguyen #1 in 25. This book goes for a little something. We saw a 9.6 sell back in 2018. Think about that. It's a while, right? Not a 9.8. 9.6 is the most recent sale I found on this one for $325.
Wow.
Only 4 9/8 of 18 on the census. There are about 25,000 copies of this book ordered. And I don't know if anybody was reaching to get 1 in 25s on this from a retailer perspective, because you can't find this book anywhere. And people who know, they know because they ask big bucks for it. I think it's on eBay. Cheapest you can find might be $500, something like that. But this feels like a book. At least I tell myself this, that you should be able to find in some bin somewhere, because some dealer just doesn't know what the hell it is. It looks like it could just kind of fly under the radar.
Yeah, when I was going to back and forth to that blowout sale, I was praying that I would find a book like this, but no such luck.
I wonder if the 4 people that have 9.8s are just like trying to hold on for dear life for it. They're like, kind of like, it's gonna stay in my PC forever.
4, man, that's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you haven't seen one in a while. But yeah, just a genuine ghost of a book. This entire series is kind of cool, actually. Like, I grabbed them just to cover A's when I'm out digging, if I find them in the dollar bins, and I do find them now and then. They weren't, by the end of the run, actually, I think I put another one on this one. I think it was a Supergirl cover, if I remember. Is it the next one, perhaps? Or did it... Yeah, so this is a cool Supergirl cover. This was at the tail end of the run. This was the last issue, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And there are around 12,000 copies ordered. Everybody loves Supergirl covers, but when I'm out digging and I see these in the bins, I grab them every single time.
It's weird. I never noticed this cover. Like the Power Girl cover, #4. I remember that one kind of being hot, but I don't think I ever see this one.
It doesn't go for anything, really, honestly. It goes for $8-10 maybe, something like that. I mean, nothing, to really get worked up over. But in the dollar bins, this entire series, I don't leave them behind. So
I hear you.
All right. Had to do it. So this is a Gwenpool holiday special, Merry Mix-Up. So here's the interesting thing about this book. This is her second holiday special. I think some people lump this book in with the first holiday special. They think it's all the same thing. This is the second holiday special. Far fewer orders than the original. This is a 1 in 100 by Chip Zdarsky. This is obviously a shout out to Die Hard. The last 9.8 we saw on this was a little while ago, right? $140 back in 2018 also. 13 of 35 9.8s on the census. So a tougher 9.8, maybe not as tough as that Wonder Woman, but tougher. And some might argue Gwenpool's one of her tougher books. I don't know. I honestly, as a big Gwenpool fan, I don't necessarily love this book for whatever reason, but I've got it. But what I find interesting, this is with the solicit, and you see up in the corner it says issue number 2. And then on the barcode it says 231. So issue number 2, third variant, first print, because it is the second holiday special. But when they actually printed it, they changed that 2 in the corner under the Marvel logo there to a 1 for, I don't know. Everybody wants number 1s more than number 2s. Who the hell knows? But
So Punisher has on his chest, now I have a bunch of guns. Ho, ho, ho. But in Die Hard, it's now I have a machine gun.
yeah.
Ho, ho. I mean, if you're an artist, do you have to change that too?
We gotta ask Chip.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I'll hit him up. Hey, Chip, just a quick question.
I
know it's probably 1 o'clock where you're living, but I gotta know. Just playing.
I finally pulled. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying I'm looking this book up. I'm like, damn, this book is expensive raw.
Yeah, people ask a lot for it, like $300-400 maybe, something like that.
Well, I'm seeing 9.8. Well, the asking price is around 800, but as far as raw goes, I see like it was a buy it now or best offer at 175, and then I see auctions ending at around 50 to 60.
Oh, that's $50-60. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's very respectable.
It probably jumps up during the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for a while you couldn't get hands on this book for 200 raw. I would say back when things were a bit crazier, but yeah, just I don't know. I felt like throwing a Gwenpool book on tonight, and some may argue this is a rarest book. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but it's up there.
And then real quick, we have Josh Allen at International Comics joining us. How's it going, Josh?
What's up? It's been a lazy day.
Nice. I wish I could say that.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
And then real quick before we move on to the next book, Jeffrey Castro's asking, are the two comics a Mangaverse universe for DC? I think he's referring to the anime.
I've never actually gone through and read the series. I think that's what the take on that is. But yeah, I never went through and read the series on those, but I believe that's what they're kind of what they're going for with that.
And then Dan SPL has 2 out of 4. Congrats. What's up, Liger Style? Thank you for joining us. And then we have Black Cat number 3.
So this is a Frank Cho book that I don't see come up all that often. Everybody likes Cho. Got a few other books on here tonight. This Black Cat series, issue number 1, was a super heavy ordered book, as everybody remembers. That was the one that every retailer did two different variants for. So super heavy ordered book. Orders obviously collapsed after that. And this one kind of goes under the radar a little bit, but just a classic Frank Cho Black Cat cover in the Frank Cho female style. Yeah, just a cool Black Cat cover that worth keeping an eye on. This thing goes in the raw. I think people are asking $50 for this thing raw, maybe $50-60 for this thing raw, but there aren't a ton on eBay if I remember. Maybe just a couple of them.
It's pretty cool to see a cat cover too, as well. Like I've noticed a lot of those comic covers are starting to pop up a lot more.
Yeah, meow.
Meow, man.
You have this one, Carter?
I
don't.
I glossed over it.
I'll bet you did.
Just kind of seemed to fade into, I don't know. With all of the Black Cat variants that get done out there, this one just kind of seemed to kind of fade into the background a little bit.
Good
but
cover.
one that I keep an eye open for. But I've never owned it. I would like to, but I don't think I'm willing to pay asking price.
Oh.
How's it going, Lord of Brooklyn? Thank you for joining us.
All right, let's talk about these books for a little bit because I posted a sale of this book on Instagram. And a number of people asked me, like, what the hell is this? So this is Amazing Spider-Man 252. This is the Niagara Falls variant. And so what is that? So basically, there was an amusement park that opened, and they were giving away 4 different Marvel comic books during the opening of that amusement park. Now, as legend has it, a lot of them were severely damaged. So, there weren't as many given out as I understand than originally planned. But this one is the classic 252, the black suit issue, obviously with a completely different cover. But this book sells, very respectably. It goes for, we saw a sale for $450. There's 156 of these on the census, 124 in 9.8. And a book that, collectors who are aware of these things, really covet. But that's what these are. It was a promotional giveaway for Adventure City Amusement Park. And it was a Marvel themed amusement park for the first couple of years, as I understand it, until they pulled that licensing, and now it's just called Adventure City. But early on, the entire theme park, as I understand, was Marvel themed. It was called Marvel Heroes Adventure City, I believe. Now, there's a second book that people chased. There were 4 books. There was a Marvel Tales, like number 3. There was, I want to say, like Ultimate Spider-Man number 3. And then here's the other one, Amazing Spider-Man 300, obviously. First Venom is the other one that people really chase and pay, a decent amount of money for. Same thing given out at the same time. There's 200 of these on the census, 133 and 9.8. And people love to chase, the first Venom.
Yeah, I remember I had this book. I couldn't make out the cover at all. I thought this cover was awful.
I've always struggled with it. And you got Niagara Falls there in the background.
And it looks like bad MS Paint.
Yeah, I don't know who was doing these things. I mean, the first time I saw this book, I was the same thing. Like, what the fuck is going on with this picture?
Hey, McClay, that's big onto these books.
I know I've heard Brian talk about them for sure. I know that he likes them, but yeah, I thought they were a bit more well known. I just thought I'd throw them on tonight because, like I said, I posted that sale, and some people are asking me, like, "What is this book? What is this book?" And I figure, all right, well, let's just put it out there.
Oh, and real quick, Blind Adam, the Black Cat number 3, Frank Cho variant. I guess the best way to describe it is you have Black Cat sitting in the center of the cover, with her, I guess, kind of like legs propped up, like with her chin resting on her knee, and then she's surrounded by a few cats, and then there's like I guess like a minimalist kind of design in the background, and then just a plain white cover on the back, and it says meow at the bottom.
And Cho, jarring her in his typical, somewhat curvaceous style that he's sort of built a reputation for.
And then Liger's asking, what were the other 2 Niagara Fall books?
It was I'm not gonna remember exactly, but it was a Marvel Tales. It was like when Marvel was reprinting the Marvel Tales and not like the classic run. Like there was I want to say like Ramos was doing the covers or something. Herbert Ramos was doing the covers back in like the 90s. That run of Marvel Tales, like issue 2 maybe. And then there was an Ultimate Spider-Man, I think, Ultimate Spider-Man 3, that they did. They didn't have the historical significance as these other 2 books, which have become more sought after and more collectible. Obviously, ASM 300 and 252 are the originals are big books in their own right. The other 2 just kind of were. I'm not even sure why they chose those particular titles, but they don't have the collectability as these 2.
And it has that ultimate style cover, right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I should have thrown them on, but I just didn't think they were necessarily worth spending much time on.
Yeah.
All right,
Ooh.
so some people ask me like, who are other artists you like? I know you're a big Jeff DeCall fan, so I really like Dan Quintana a lot. I think he's one of the more underrated artists working today. He's done a lot of work with Trinity over the years, who I do not like at all. But he is exceptionally talented, in my opinion. Before the show, I was telling Aaron I was out digging, and I found that this book, the foil, that picture doesn't really do it justice, but
Wow.
just a really cool foil. It was cheap, like it wasn't not expensive. I have no idea how many they made of those, but given the price, it's hard to say no to. But I really think Dan Quintana is up there amongst the very best. His art is very what's the right word? For lack of a better word, particular. Like sometimes the coloring on people who get his books, they screwed up in my opinion. But and then it doesn't come out right. Other times they really pop. But just an artist I'm a huge fan of. The first time I ever saw his work, I believe, if you want to go to the next slide, Aaron, was this Something Killing the Children book.
Nice.
And I love it. And people joke, it's like the only reason you like this book because it looks like Gwenpool. And I was like, you know what? Maybe that's true, and I don't even realize it. But yeah, this was the first time that I saw his art. And I was like, wow, this guy is pretty damn good. There's so many of these at 9.8 because when you got this book, I think most of them you had to buy them graded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel bad for those.
Yeah, exclusive.
Feel bad for those 3 people that didn't hit that 9.8.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I think one's a 9.9, and I think one is a signature series 9.6, maybe. I don't remember exactly. I was looking at them before.
I have this book actually. I think I just bought it raw. I don't remember paying for it graded.
So I have it graded. I don't buy books like this graded, but the only way I could get it was graded, and it took it took a year from when I ordered it when I actually got it.
Yeah.
Because I think when it first came out, this was the issue with the printing issues where there was tears inside. And
it was okay. Yeah.
It was that. I think it was this one, and
I
never waited so long to get a book. I really thought I got scammed on it, and I was pissed.
Were you contacting the credit card company?
No, I was just like, I just called them like, are you guys ever gonna fucking mail this thing? Like, it's been a year. Like, this book has been out for so long now.
Yeah, by the time you get it, you're not gonna like it anymore. What was I thinking?
Is this the one that came with a coin?
Came with what?
A coin?
I didn't get a coin with mine. If they did, they must have kept it. I don't know.
Well, I might have ended up with a coin because they sent me a coin for something else because I think it was for this issue, but I could be wrong. Because originally, I think anyone that signed up to get the graded slab, you were supposed to get a coin with it. And
well, if that did, maybe it was in the box. I was so pissed. I was like, maybe so happy I got the book. I left the coin in the box. I don't know. I wasn't looking for it if it came through. And maybe I knew that when I ordered and I forgot. It had been so long, but but yeah, I love Dan Quintana's work. I think one of the more underrated artists out there, and some of the stuff just absolutely kills it. And like a lot of these guys, like he's done other kinds of work. I think I have one more thing on here by him. So this is a heavy metal magazine that he did. I mean, the number of artists who have just gone on to do really great covers for heavy metal are, too many to name or count. But just a cool looking, just another cool looking heavy metal cover. I think they're all frankly pretty cool looking, most of them. Just an artist out there that has always caught my eye. This was the cover A, as far as I can tell. So, like, this thing is plentiful. Don't run out and pay anything for this. I think it's $5. I mean, literally nothing, but just something cool. I will say this though, as much as I dig the amount of like heavy metal boxes that I've dug through in my life, of like I can probably count on one hand. Like they're just nowhere. Like I don't know where the stacks of these books are, to be honest with you. Like, you come across them very often, Carter?
I mean, I came across at the blowout sale. I came across a short box of heavy metal magazine, but it was like they were early 2000s, like late 90s to early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the modern ones are just being sold to the people who subscribe to it, and that's it. And like they're not, like they're showing up nowhere else.
Well, it's real interesting. Like since they're like, I guess, kind of rebranding everything that they're doing, right? I'm not rebranding. I shouldn't say that, but like kind of doing a restart, like going back to issue number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it works for Marvel over and over and over and over and over.
And it sounded like they were kind of hesitant about doing that in the first place, but then
I remember when I was a
seems like
kid.
they're just. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Josh. You're good. Mine's a bit of a.
Oh, I was just gonna say they're just trying to make it relevant again. Whether that happens or not is to be seen.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, like this always being. I bought so many comics when I was a kid, just like bookstores and stuff. Like I grew up in Maine, and there was a couple comic shops I'd go to, but I'd spend time at like different bookstores and like, just seeing these on the shelves, like on the edge of like the adult section almost, and thumbing through these things, and like they were just wild, like for like a 10-year-old kid, like the art that they had in these things, and anyways, they've had so many legendary artists over the years. I think some of these books are a little bit slept on.
I don't think they own them, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just like in partnership.
It's a partnership. Yeah.
Oh, so they're gonna mess this title up, or what?
Well, it's still like heavy metal still ran by heavy metal.
Yeah,
I think they're I think they're just partnering with Whatnot Publishing to do.
Don't do it.
To rebrand it. They're trying to make it popular again. Because let's be honest. Can they really ruin heavy metal? Who reads heavy metal? Like,
right.
Nobody
make
does.
it worse,
back
bro.
in the day, the stories in there from some of the writers, and it was like it was like a legit publication. Like as far as some of the writers that attracted those stories in there were some big time writers, but I don't know.
Like originally, it sounded like their roots were just to kind of get writers to throw out something that they wouldn't normally publish, right?
Yeah.
Just to like kind of like, hey, do you have a short story that you want to kind of like snowball or try out to see if it, just to see if there's to generate interest, I guess. So. Yeah,
I had no idea that they were getting into bed with Whatnot. I hope that goes well for them, but.
I think it's what Bolo and Comic Tom, right? They're doing it. That's what I heard.
Comic Tom's gonna have a story. He's writing a comic.
I'm sure it's gonna be a big hit. All right, on to the next one. Go ahead, Carter. I did my best to censor this.
Man, you did a horrible job. Okay, so this is a book I actually came across today. I didn't even know it existed. So this is a Dave Stevens cover, Verotic illustrated. Is it? Yeah, Verotic. Either it's Verotic or Verotic illustrated number 2. And like I said, it's a Dave Stevens cover, and I tried to buy up all of the Dave Stevens covers that I can, except for a Johnny Quest cover where there's no chicks on it.
Yeah. That's what makes it special, bro.
Fudge.
I bet you can't draw regular people, Dave. Yes, I can. It's the only time I'm going to do this.
The dog was rendered very well, but it's still a no-go for me.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, but great cover. Is this not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a plunger?
I dig
On
it.
the...
That is a devil horn.
No, a plunger on her.
Oh,
That's an edit.
The booby.
Oh,
yeah.
that's an edit. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a plunger.
Trying to keep it family friendly.
Okay. What are they doing on the rock, bro?
They're just getting
We
some
made
sun.
Yeah.
We made it to the top. Wow.
It's weird. I think it's like I thought I've seen all the Dave Stevens covers, but there's always something.
Yeah, no, there's lots of. This book is tough and high grade because, it's the square bound cardstock stuff from like the 90s, and it just gets the shit kicked out of it. If there's anything wrong with it, you can tell in a second.
Yeah, it's funny because the copy that I have has a dent in the upper corner, so I know what you're saying. Oh, this book it goes for roughly $30 to give you an idea.
Yeah, and the covers basically are two women, one sort of kneeling on a rock, another one standing next to her. The one kneeling is just like a demon, like the devil, basically. With the devil tail and horns, bald. They're both without top, I guess is the best way to say it. And one has a cape that is sort of the angelic one has a cape that's kind of blowing in the wind.
It's like describing D-tier porn on here.
Soft, silky caress.
As they stare off into the end of the
into the horizon. Bosom to bosom.
All right,
Mama.
Joe, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah. So shout out to Longshort for putting me on a quest to pick up a whole bunch of Paul Green books. Even though he gets a disclaimer at the beginning of the show, I typically don't follow the rules to anything. So I found this digging at Half Price Books, and I go, "It's Paul Green, bro. There's no way Ben can have this one." And then Ben told me, he goes, "Yeah, I got that one."
Yeah, I want to be clear. I'm not the biggest Paul Green fan. I mean, I think he's doing his best, J. Scott Campbell, but I do know that he's got a pretty damn loyal following when it comes to his covers, and so he's become like one of the big names when it comes to like rare exclusives for Xenoscope. But this was when he was just doing cover C's, and usually when guys are doing cover C's, I mean, they're not necessarily their biggest artists at the time. They feel like those are underordered. So, and just given that he's got such a popular fan base, when I see them for reasonable prices in the back issue bins, I grab them. This is Oz, Reign of the Witch, number 4. This is Dorothy sitting. It looks like she's in Oz, holding a crystal ball with the farm on it, but I don't remember what part of the movie this is referencing specifically. But
I think it was the beginning.
Whatever the smuttiest part of Wizard of Oz was, there it is.
But I will tell you, like inside the book is terrible, so you might as well you might as well get a slab, dude. Like I'm trying to look inside here and like read your books. And I go, well, shit, the story sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't know if Xenoscope is reading material.
Xenoscope versus Dynamite. Who wins?
I'd say Dynamite for like the actual stories. I would think Dynamite is doing meaningfully better than a lot of the Xenoscope stories.
No.
Fire. That's what you want to call
Cover wise, though, who's doing
cover wise? I mean,
shit, Dynamite had everybody. You know,
Can
Yeah,
you
that's
really
true.
I would say
beat
Dynamo, yeah,
Vampirella
because
and
they're
Red
still
Sonja?
attracting. Like, I mean, if you think of everybody who's done a Vampy or a Red Sonja cover, I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you've got the entire A-list, artist community in the hobby. Whereas Xenoscope finds them early, I would say. I mean, you got early Art Germ, and you've got, but yeah, I guess it depends what you're into. I mean, I think that's part of the appeal of some of the Xenoscope stuff is like just early works from some artists that became, superstars. I mean, I think that's pretty cool to chase and track those down.
Yeah.
Here you go, Joe. This one's a tough to find a picture of. When I steal it from my comic shop, it means there weren't any other options.
Yeah. So I mean, I came across this, and once again, I said certainly Ben won't have this. He has it, but it's just a awesome Frank Cho cover. I mean, I tried understanding what was going on in the book, but the chick is a killer, and there's a shrink involved, and I'm gonna have to read it. But great pinups inside the book. I've never heard of these artists, but they're pretty cool. But
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
this
just
is
this book has got to be very low printed. Bald Guy Studios. Um, I've never heard of Bald Guy Studios, so
yeah. This book is Footman 15 Therapy #1.
Is
It's a
this
mouthful.
early Frank Cho?
this is 2003, dude.
Mm.
So I mean,
Because
it's
it barely looks like Frank Cho, but you can
no
kind of tell it.
2004.
Yeah, I mean you've got his classic signature right there in the corner near her gun. But yeah, this cover you basically got a girl in a tracksuit, if you want to call it that, with her sneakers on,
With 15
sort
on
of
her thing.
lying on her back with her feet in the air, sitting in the mouth of I don't know what that is, like a clay, I don't know, in the mouth of some stone sculpture thing. But yeah, I mean, I found this book. I mean, when I'm out there going through the dollar bins, this is the kind of shit that always
Yeah,
catches my
dude.
eye. And I remember grabbing it for a buck.
Yeah. I
last
mean,
summer.
you can when you see like big artists and oddball titles, that's the recipe. I better pick this up, especially if it's for like $1. Because you don't have time to look at eBay and all that. You're just trying to scoop up books. But like this is what I saw. I saw Frank Cho and I saw like Footman Therapy. I'll take it.
No,
I thought it was about a girl who massages feet, dude. So
What man?
It's too bad it's only on one shot too, because I'm pretty sure in in that top left corner it says 1 of 1. Right?
So I was
This
looking
was
it
the
up. There's
second
another
Footman
Cho
book.
cover for Footman.
There were 2 Footman one shots.
Yeah.
There's this one, and Cho did the cover for both of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
But
I think the other one
yeah,
looks better.
I was talking with Matt DeVoe from Cover Price about just the market and how people are probably felt so burnt on just movie spec and character spec that they're just sort of pivoting towards artists that they like in relatively rare works, and really paying a premium for that stuff where it's not spec driven. It's just stuff that they want to own in their collection that they think is just cool looking. There's been a big pivot towards that. I mean, you look at Stevens' books have been picking up like crazy. A lot of Campbell stuff has been picking up. Hughes, DeCall. I mean, you just go down the list, and people are willing to sort of pay up for that stuff rather than, any sort of Marvel spec. Maybe we'll see what happens in DC, but I think people feel sufficiently burnt on that stuff where they're looking to, if they're going to price your books, they're going to put it behind stuff that isn't so volatile in terms of how movies play out.
That's for sure. I was at a store today and I was looking at Moon Knight and Thor and Doctor Strange. You just go, ugh. Get nauseated.
Stuff you didn't see in back bins a couple of years ago. Now they're plentiful. It's just like now's the time. Like if you're digging like the books that like I picked up some like scarce second print Deadpools and like Thunderbolts, and I'm like, man, people just dumping this stuff, and I'm just like, don't make it that easy for me, man. I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I would say Aaron and I were talking about this before the show kicked off. And I've been talking with a lot of local comic shop owners in the area, and the number of collections that people are coming in looking to unload has exploded. So just like, when these guys, a lot of the times when these guys buy collections, they'll go through it quickly and say, like, hey, they'll identify quickly what they can make money on, but they don't necessarily know every last little rare, obscure book. And sometimes these things just get stuck on, in the back issue bins for relatively fair prices if they're not going through every book in the collection. So it's a good time to be digging. I tell you, there's a store I go to every Friday on the way home from work, right? Every Friday. And the stuff I've been finding there. I mean, I just grabbed this 2 weeks ago for $40, right? Not a bad.
What?
And it's not a 9.8. It's got a few little ticks in it, but for $40, why not, right?
Bro, put that in a bag and board, bro.
I know. I'm trying to press. I'm trying to do my best Joe.
Oh, come on, man.
But yeah, so yeah, he buys collections nonstop, and all he cares about is get it in and get it out. So like, I go there and picking up stuff for reasonable prices.
That's a good
I
price.
feel like a lot of stores are starting to buy a lot. So get out there and get looking.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
This was you were talking about, Joe?
Oh yeah, so like I picked this one up, and this is a second print Thunderbolts book, and then I was like, I think I hit you up. I go, is that Yelena Belova? Is that the first cover with Deadpool and Yelena? So I just picked it up. I don't know if it'll be a thing, but then not many copies were ordered. Ben was telling me, it's like, man, that was so short printed, and I was like, hell yeah. Aaron, do you have this one?
I love grabbing this one. I haven't seen it in the wild forever, but I was always a big fan of it. I think this cover with Deadpool and Yelena was the last page of the issue. Now, if you remember, this series were the amazing Dell'Otto covers that he did for this.
Mm-hmm.
That were really, really cool, this entire run. But this one I always liked. And at the time, Yelena did not have a whole lot of covers to go to. But yeah, I always love this book. It doesn't go for a crazy amount, but I don't see it in the wild anymore.
I don't think I have this cover, but I know it's a tie-in to the way, to the Daniel Way Deadpool Volume 3, because I'm looking it up right now. But what issue is it? Because Yelena shows up on the cover for, it's an early issue. She's on the second print cover with Deadpool on issue. Oh, come on, where is it?
If you can't read the text on there, Deadpool's basically saying, "You're kind of hot. Do you have a boyfriend?" I think that's what that says.
Oh, issue 9. Issue 9. Deadpool Volume 3, issue 9. That's the one where Yelena's kicking Deadpool in the in the balls,
Yeah.
Which
but
one
I don't remember
first.
Let's see. Deadpool number 9 is May 6th of 2009, and then the Thunderbolts is that is 130 is the first print came out in March 18th of 2009.
Yeah, Thunderbolts wins.
Yeah, because I want to say 130 was the start of that story arc. So I think it was like issue 12, then it goes to Thunderbolts 130, and then it just goes back and forth.
So this could still happen. This could still happen. You could get a Deadpool Yelena meeting.
Is this
Bro.
where she's actually Yelena, or was this when Natasha was disguised as
Oh God,
Yelena?
dude, it's Yelena. Damn it!
Because what issue does that happen in? That
Whatever her first appearance in the Thunderbolts is. It's not really her. It's Natasha in disguise.
Yeah, that was this run, right?
Yeah,
So it could be Natasha.
could be.
Man, we don't want to see that.
But wasn't that like way before this issue came out too? Because I thought that was early in the run. Like it was like 100 something, like 111, 110 was around there.
It might have, yeah, it might have been way earlier. You're right, Aaron. I don't remember the issue, but this was, what was it called? What was she called? Super Adaptoid or something like that? Is that this?
133. Thunderbolts 133 is.
Oh, okay.
This is bullshit. Got all these fact checkers here, man.
These know-it-alls. Go with that.
Damn nerds.
Let us have our fun. Let us live in our fantasy world.
Yeah, man, nerds. This is like a comic shop. No, that's not her.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Here you go, Josh.
All right, so I did a couple Golden Age books tonight because I feel like I haven't done Golden Age books in forever. So this was Famous Funnies 212. Came out in the U.S. 1954. This is a sci-fi Frazetta cover. So this is the Mexican edition. Fantastico. What number is this? Number 46. So this came out in Mexico in 1960. I think I've seen two of these pop up so far. The Franzetta, the earlier like Mexican Franzetta stuff is not too easy to find. So I do not own this. I would love to own it, but just never turns up.
I put the US version next on it just to compare it to the one that came.
Yeah. Ta-da.
I would happily own either one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I actually think I go back to the Mexican one. I think I like that one better. There's just less going on in the title area.
Cool.
Is it also because it's like kind of wider too? I would assume.
It should be the same. It should be about the same size. Actually, it's probably shorter. Maybe it is wider after looking at that picture. But yeah, it's by El Sol Publishing, and they did a bunch of rare books. So one day I would like to own it, but probably not any day soon. All right, so Phantom Lady, I accidentally put 1953. This was 1955. Phantom Lady number 3. This was the US edition, and then I think I posted the edition from Mexico. That is from 1963. It was under Fantastico again by El Sol. I've only ever seen maybe like 3 or 4 foreign Phantom Lady books pop up, and like only 1 for sale, 2 for sale. So I love Phantom Lady, and would definitely love some foreign Golden Age.
Yeah,
Phantom Lady.
I just grabbed. This is the second Phantom Lady series, right? From
from 55. Yeah, because the first stories were in those all top comics from like 48.
So she's dragging him onto the train tracks, right?
Yeah.
So I grabbed. So I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
So this is a very tough book to find. This is very early Silver Age. I think this was 56 '97. Not just at the tail end of Golden Age, but it reprints a bunch of Phantom Lady stories. But this Great Action Comics, it wasn't all Phantom Lady, but this issue number 9 reprinted some Phantom Lady stuff, and I believe some of the Matt Baker stuff. But I grabbed this thing the other day, and for its age, it is in phenomenal condition. But yeah, just I'm a fan. I'm a Phantom Lady fan too. There's a couple that I've had eyes on. I shared one with you, Josh, that I wanted to. I never pulled the trigger on it, and somebody else did.
Yeah. This second series of Phantom Lady, they also reused stories in some of the issues. Like this issue has the Phantom Lady story from, I think it was All Top Comics 10 inside of it. But what was neat was, so All Top Comics 10, the story I think was done by Matt Baker, and then when it was redone in this Phantom Lady 3 7 years later, they had a different artist redraw the entire story, and he actually added some stuff to the story. Like, this is technically the first appearance of I think they call it the Phantom Mobile, which was like Phantom Lady's, Batmobile. So some interesting stuff.
Listen, she's wearing literal high heels on those train tracks. I mean, that cannot be an easy endeavor pulling this guy off with those things on.
Oh yeah, JC, I know about that. I just looked. Trust me, I know. My eyes have been on it.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear this story.
So up next we have Famous Funnies. This was number 209. This was another Frank Frazetta cover. Came out in Mexico. I want to say 1960. I couldn't find a date, so it was either 59 or 60. Came out in the U.S. in 1953, and it's just another. I love the Famous Funny Frazetta sci-fi stuff. So this is a book I know I've seen 1 or 2 of these pop up, and that's it. And I would love to someday again own some foreign Frazetta. So
yeah, I mean, this would be a no-brainer grab if I ever saw this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that popped up for sale, I think they want $900 for it, which is probably not a terrible deal. I just don't want to spend $900 on it. So
people are wising up to these foreigns, Josh. Everybody's got to blame you. I think you're shining too much of a light on them.
Yeah, I mean, it seems for 2 copies. I mean, I've only ever seen 2 copies. I think it's graded, and it's a 5.5, I think, or something like that. And they want like $900 for it. So it seems like a deal when you think it might be the only one you ever see in your entire life.
Yeah, no question. What is? I think I showed the U.S. version as well of this.
Yep.
What does that go for anyway? Do we know? Like what?
The U.S. one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's an answer to the question. We just look it up. But
Yeah.
Who has GPA open, or who's the quickest, right?
It probably cost at least one of these right here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
But it's probably plasma instead of just blood, right?
either it's this or it's just all of this.
All right, so let's see. There was November 2022, a 9.2 sold for over 7,000.
Jesus, a 9.2.
Sounds like it's more. It sounds like it's more like bone marrow. So
this year, just last month, a 9.4 sold for 6. So I mean, they paid less than someone did for a 9.2.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you get into certain ages of like this book, right? Like a 9.2 and 9.4, should there really be that giant of a
No, I mean they're basically interchangeable, right? At those
no.
The 9.6 in 2001 sold for 5,100.
What's the census look like on this book?
9.0 sold in 2021 for 4.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go over the other shows that are on Nearing Nirvana. So I want to thank the 62 people watching with us live. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss all the great shows that are on here. On Mondays, we have Cover Lovers that starts at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesday, we have Comic Book Women that starts at 6:35 Pacific, 9:35 Eastern. On Wednesdays, there's Mondo Mail Call at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. You're with us on Thursdays for Long Story Short, so thank you so much for tuning in. And then tomorrow for Friday, we have Nearing Nirvana that starts at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday, we have the Saturday Morning Toy Box at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern.
There's 156 copies of that book on the census.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was actually
Yeah.
shocked to see that there was that many.
Yeah, and there's 9. There's 8 in a 9.6. Like there's 26 books that are 9.0 or better.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was not expecting to see that many of them.
All right. And then I want to take this time also to thank our sponsors. So make sure you're signing up for Cover Price. That's COVRPRICE. They've got you covered. Make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And then make sure you're still signed up for the text line over at Bird City Comics so you don't miss all those exclusive drops. And then they also have launched an app. So that'll help you get those fast payments in, so a hot book doesn't sell out like almost instantly. And does anyone else have anything to promote?
I just I want to wish the Punisher a happy birthday. He turned 50 this month, so happy birthday, Frank Castle. Y'all want to start it off? Happy no.
Hey,
Hey Frank, happy birthday! Shout out Frank Castle. Shout out Frank Castle. Happy birthday, bro.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna crack open 20 Thundercat #1 slabs on my next show.
Nice.
I don't know how fun that'll be, so I may need some guests to keep people interested.
And what were the grades on those?
8.5, 9.0, 9.2.
Somebody had a lot of Thundercats.
Yeah,
1.
he goes, give me all 9.8s, Red Hood. And I was like, oh fuck, okay. Challenge. But yeah, that'll be cool. I've never seen 20 Thundercat slabs.
So the new premise of a movie is you rehab this book to a 9.8 or we don't kill you.
Oh man. Can you imagine?
Some comic mafia guy.
Joe would just go and buy it. Like, I'll go buy you a 9.8, man. Just don't kill me.
Right? Can you imagine? I heard you pretty good. I got these 9.6. Oh. Bro, I don't think I can handle that pressure, bro.
It's not me. It's CGC, man. They're fucking corrupt. It's not me.
Yeah, I'd probably be an asshole. Well, if I get a 9.8, you got to kill this guy. Deal. That would be cool.
Yeah. Merson, any haul videos coming up?
You know what? I might take a break this weekend because I'm waiting for stuff to come in. But we'll see. We'll see what's happening. But if not this weekend, then next weekend.
Sweet.
Nice.
Anything coming up, Josh? Any sales? Anything like that?
I'm gonna do a sale next week at some point on Instagram, but I don't know when. So stay tuned.
All
Hey,
right.
I found my Viva Las Vegas, but no scrolls, and I was like, God damn it! I didn't know there was a scrolls variant, man. Now I got to go out and get it.
Totally.
All right.
Oh, did you know #1 has a second print?
Is it the same cover?
No, completely different.
It's right here. Hold on. These shows are not scripted.
Oh wow! What are the
Hey,
odds?
listen, the first cover is better, but this is the second print. I mean,
No, I like that second print.
Yeah.
All right. And I just want to say, hey, this is Aaron. Make sure don't get scammed. Say no to friends and fam. That's all I got. All right. See y'all next week.